Hi guys, welcome back to Doobrey's Day. Today on Doobrey's Day, we're going to make our new anvil stand for our new anvil. Let's go. Hi guys, welcome back. So what you probably wasn't aware is that all my forging and whatnot has been done on my small anvil at the moment, which I've had now for about 2 years. It's been a great anvil, absolutely loved it. But I bought a second-hand anvil off of my friend Mark. Thank you, Mark. It's a big boy. It's hidden over the back though. I'm not going to show you that just yet. But in order to use the anvil, I need to make myself a new anvil stand. So I've invested in a load of 2x4s. A lot of 2x4s. I need 36 pieces. The way I've calculated this out is that it's going to be 40 centimeters in height. They're 4.8 meter long bits of 2x4. So you divide that through and you get 36 pieces out of 4.8 meters at 40 centimeters. So these are currently at 1.2. So I should be able to get 3 out of each one of these. I'm going to quickly get the cutter out, cut these up, and then I'm going to stack them all vertically. And I've got some metal which I'm going to make a band around the top of them, screw them all together, put the band around it, sand the top down, and then put the anvil on top. Well, that's the plan anyway. So without further ado, let's get the old saw out and let's get these cut to the right length. Let's go, guys. So to cut these all to 40 centimeters in length, because 40 centimeters is from my knuckle to the ground. Okay, there's my 36 blocks. A couple of them, like this one here, is a little bit low. This one over here that's a bit low, which I can just swap out. Next thing I'm going to do is start screwing them all together. I'm going to screw them all together and I'm going to put a big band around them, metal band, which I need to heat up and forge weld around them. So let's get screwing. Okay, I've now screwed my blocks together. I've got to screw them this way, but they're all screwed this way at the moment. And you can stand on it. It's incredibly sturdy. So next thing I'm going to do is screw these things together this way. And then I've got to get my metal band around the outside to hold it all. So let me show you the metal. Metal I got went to my metal suppliers. I got some of this thin banding metal. Now this is going to go around the outside, so I'm going to have to bend it accordingly. Match up, but before I do that, I've got to figure out how I'm going to connect these this way. So I've now screwed at an angle to connect these bits together. And then I'll get my sander on the top and sand this flat. I'm going to reverse it over and sand the bottom flat. And then we start thinking about putting the metal brackets on there. Get in there. When I do put the anvil on here, I'm going to put a layer of silicone down. That'll take some of the ringing. What I might do though is see how the anvil fits on here before I go any further to make sure it's the right height, etc. Let's give that a go, and then I'm going to put the bands around, and then we're nearly there. Let's get our solid block. I ain't going anywhere. As you can see, compare it to the other one, it's massive. It says on the side here, Sheffield something home. It's Sheffield, England. I can't read what it says on the side there. Does anybody know what the sort of anvil this is? If so, please comment down below. She's gorgeous though. No markings on that side. Lovely face. Beautiful face. And lovely horn. Look at that. All I've got to do now is do the bands, but I think I'm going to do that next time because I'm tired. Okay, I wanted to finish off the anvil housing, so I've bought some big bolts. The idea with these big bolts is that I'm going to weld them onto my metal strips, and then they can slot through and tighten up. So the metal strips I've got a couple of pieces of this real thin steel. This must be like 3mm steel. I'm marking on it where I need to bend it, and the idea is that I bend it around the 4 sides. The final side will have a gap, probably about 100-150mm, and then this bolt will be welded onto here, and then welded on the other end, and I can tighten it down to tighten up the straps around the anvil block. So I'm going to heat this up. I'm going to bend them 90 degrees. I'm going to use my little devil's horns, as I call them, on my anvil. Bend them around, attach them onto the wooden blocks, make sure they fit. Then I'll weld on these bolt housings, and then I can tighten them up. That'll be the first bit. I've also bought some coach bolts. These are big coach bolts. So I'm going to drill, once I've done the banding, drill 2 holes, screw these in with the chain. So the chain I've got in the little anvil at the moment, I'm going to cut it using the angle grinder. I'm going to go all the way around the back of the new big anvil and drill these coach bolts in with the chain around it. Do it on both sides. I can tighten it down. Before I do any of that, I'm going to put some silicone underneath the anvil to take the ring, because the ring on the anvil at the moment, if you can hear, it's quite a big ring, so I want to remove that, and you can remove that by putting silicone under and also using the chain to bolt it down. Okay, without further ado, let me get bending this metal bar. Okay, slight change of plan. Instead of heating it and bending it, I'm actually going to cut it and then weld it so I get 90-degree angles. That's probably going to be a little bit easier. So I'm going to quickly cut this down, weld it together, and then put it back onto the anvil stand. Okay, I've cut all of the pieces. I'm now going to clean up the ends and then put them at 90 degrees and weld them together. Let's do that. Okay, I've made my 2 brackets. As you can see, I've got a nice bolt on there. I've welded on it. My welding isn't the best, but I've welded a bolt hole on there. This now goes through the bolt hole and then connects up to this bolt here. I'm now going to put these 2 frames onto the bottom of the anvil and tighten them up. Slightly high. As you can see, I've cut myself. It's sharp. I'll tighten this up just gently. Take the other bolt. Okay, it's the next day. I've given the anvil a bit of a clean. All I've got to do now is put the silicone underneath the anvil, put the bolts in, put the chain around and bolt it down, and we are done. So let me get the silicone, and let me get silicone in it onto here. But for the silicone, I've just gone for some kitchen and bathroom sealant silicone. Just put it in front of you so you can see. So it's nice and basic silicone. I'm going to just move the anvil to the side, pump a load of silicone underneath it, because the anvil's actually not square down here, it's not flat at all. And then I'll bolt it down, and that will hopefully reduce some of the ring of the anvil. I'm going to draw around the anvil, just so I know where the silicone's going to go. I can move the anvil to the side a little bit and pump the silicone on. Okay guys, there we go. All bolted down. As you can hear by the ring now, the ring's completely gone. I know it's not pretty, but at the end of the day it's a blacksmith's anvil. I've bolted it down with the chains, I've put the brackets around the bottom here. Overall, I'm really chuffed with it. So guys, that's the end of this week's Doobrey's Day. An Anvil Stand. Hope you found it useful, and we look forward to seeing you next week on Doobrey's Day. Cheers then, bye!